the airwaves in terms of social media. Everywhere you go, it's not a normal football season. Everybody wants to know, is he coming? When's he coming? Etc. And the truth is, nobody knows except Lane Kiffin, and sometimes he doesn't even know. Well, Shane Matthews is just out of Mississippi, and he saw the game on Saturday. Well, I made a comment. I don't necessarily say it's a moral victory, but gosh, look at what they were up against and who they had on their squad. They were without three of their best wide receivers. Their three best, maybe. So it's like going to a concert and find out only Ringo is playing for the Beatles. Anyway, tonight we'll talk more about it because that's what's in the news. Now a little backlash, perhaps. The folks at Ole Miss are saying, you know what? We can't keep doing this. We're going to have to come to a conclusion. When will that be? And who will it be? Well, we'll discuss that and a lot more. Welcome your comments right tonight on the program. And so stay tuned. Shane Matthews is next. We've got maybe Franz Beard, who's sick. Jeffrey Meldon, the man, will be here. And maybe, well, who else? No, a lot of people sick it out. We'll see who shows up. We'll tell you about that. Steve Russell as well, hopefully. Stand by. Buddy Martin Show is next.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Hey, welcome. Everybody wants to know. Some people think they do know. I don't know. I've talked to a ton of people. And this guy here has all kind of connections. He was home this weekend and back in his old home state where they're talking about it all over the place. Even this, as we speak, this particular social media, this Twitter, X, what do you call it? Ole Miss does a better job right now than Florida, LSU, and many others. This is not bias. This is facts. I don't know. I guess you can make that case, Shane Matthews, but I think I have a hard time believing that one, although kudos to the people at Ole Miss. How was everything at home?
It was great, buddy. Tremendous atmosphere. The Grove was outstanding. It's probably the best tailgate place in America.
Yeah.
They did a good job. They did all these drone shows, light shows, what have you. Really good crowd of 64,000, the largest ever at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. So they got a good football team. Not so great on defense, but it's a good football team. We'll see what they can do in the postseason.
Yeah, I know you said on your show this morning, I think you told JC, Lane not very happy in his comments about the fact that they were able to throw the ball on him like you were. And that zone didn't necessarily work that great. But anyway, without getting into all that, let's just go right into the dive and say, everybody has an idea that they know. The time, the date, it's trending now, if that's the right word, toward the latest. And we have a whole big, long explanation on Gator bait from all the social media people in the world giving their take. And the consensus seems to be it's the Egg Bowl. That's the deadline. And Ole Miss says you got to do it by then. Frankly, I think, and I've said and I've written that I think Ole Miss people are kind of getting sick of it, but they don't want to keep on dragging it on. And in a way, people think, well, Lane Kiffin's just enjoying this, actually trolling his own people. I don't believe that. I think he's making an honest decision. I'd hate to have to make that decision right now, but what's your take?
I've always said that I felt like Lane I feel like Lane's already made his mind up. I feel like a lot of people know from both schools. I think he needs to – I always said I'd put myself in his position. When would I want to say it publicly. I've always said after the Egg Bowl, I still think that's what will happen. And I still think he'll be our coach.
There's no easy way here, Shane. I was thinking about this. I know I'm old, so I say to people, "Oh my God, that's ancient history." But this is a lot of years of my coaching searches, like 60 something. Okay, and I remember my very first one at Florida was Bob Woodruff, who you heard of but don't know his history as a terrible offensive coach and a great defensive coach, and a guy who Gator fans. That was his school then. I'm telling you, the Gators and the students wanted him out of there. And they brought a guy in. How'd they get him? They called Bobby Dodd, who was like one of the godfathers of college football, and said, "Hey, how about coming to work for us?" And he said, "No, but I got a guy for you. He's my defensive coordinator. His name is Ray Graves, and he's really good, and he knows offense, but he specializes in defense." And I'd never heard of him. Most of us never heard of him. That's how Ray Graves started, and he brought Pepper Rogers, and Pepper Rogers was a mentor of who? Your coach, and Steve Spurrier learned to cut his teeth under Pepper there. So that's how it started, and I've been through a lot since then. Hey, it only been 8 years ago we went through this with what was going to go on with Dan Meldon, and et cetera. And I don't, these are things that people just like to put their own stamp on, saying, "I said it back on January 3rd, 1925, he'd be the coach." I don't know. If you were making that call today, you would say you said it's a done deal. And I sure hope it is, because I think we all are thinking, what in the world will they do if it's not?
Yeah, I don't know where they go, but I think Lane Kiffin will be our head coach. I'm sticking with it. I think it's a job he's always wanted. I think he knows he can come here and win with a great fan base, and but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll know here pretty soon, I would think.
Well, 11 days, whatever that is. So we should know something. So, all right, I know it's hard. You've talked about it till you're blue in the face, but it's what people want to talk about and want to hear. Keep that ear to the ground and more comments coming in. Talk to me about the ball games that we saw, not the least of which was Florida's. Gosh, I was saying, if you realize they had the three best receivers out, maybe the Wilson boys, and included, and it's like going to a concert and to see the Beatles and only Ringo's there, and then Ringo was wearing number 2 jersey, and he didn't have a lot to work with, but I thought he acquitted himself pretty. And the thing about it was, Shane, it was his legs. Those first 2 drives were not good, 3 and out. They gave up points, and yet what happened? All of a sudden, number 2 started runs the ball, and things changed.
Yeah, he made some good runs, made a couple good throws down the field, but just the consistency's not there, buddy. I don't have the answer, but to play that position, and especially in this league, you have to be efficient and consistent, and miss too many easy throws. And this is not picking on him. I'm critiquing. That's what I do for a living, is critique, especially quarterback play.
Sure.
It's, if you look at their quarterback was phenomenal. Tremendous fundamentals, great release, great feet, accurate as heck. I think he like 5 or 6 incompletions the whole night. But we had an opportunity. I thought our defense played well. We were fortunate on, they didn't score any points twice, having the ball first and goal on like the 2 or inside the 5. I know people are upset with the pass interference call. It should have been called, but the Gators got a break on the field goal attempt. That should have been a personal foul, hands to the face. Not sure what the officials were looking at. That's when Lane lost it. But we are who we are, and we got 2 games left, and see what happens.
Well, and you say it all the time, things even out, but depending on timing is everything. It's like hiring a coach. Timing is everything. When you do it is everything. And I think it was a horrible, horrible call when they didn't give they didn't give them the 15 yards on the play and took one on the kickoff. That was horrible. But I'm not so sure it was any worse than the interference call, which wasn't called. That was awful. That was a critical play. So I
Yeah.
mean that was brutal. That really was. So
Well, it was. I mean, the interference call was like the last drive of the game. We still had to go like 90 something yards just to tie, I guess tie it up, or I can't remember what the score was at the time. But they make the field goal, but if they actually give them the penalty, they would have had the ball inside the 10-yard line. So who knows what would have happened. Look, I think Ole Miss is elite on offense. I don't think their defense is anything special. But we had opportunities, and we played much better than we did against Kentucky. I will say that.
Yeah, that was honestly, I didn't know if they'd come back from it. That was the good news. They did come back from it. I will give them credit for that. And they tried to wash it like a good cornerback who gets beat. You got to get amnesia sometimes. And I know we don't believe in moral victories, but you have to also say, was advancement made and did they help the cause? I think they did, moral victory or not. So now they got 2 left. Tennessee comes here. Urban Meyer's going to be in town. We're going to have him on the show on Thursday. He's 20 years. I couldn't believe it. 20 years it's been since he was hired. Big weekend in Gainesville. A win would be nice, but it doesn't look very likely. But it should be a good atmosphere. And then you got FSU. All these night games are getting tough, though. So, Tennessee, talk to me about Tennessee.
Well, they're 7-3. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're a good football team, and they've always had trouble winning here. I don't know when the last time they won here, but it's been a while. So who knows what's going to happen? We've sold out a bunch of games. I don't know if this game's going to be a sellout. I doubt it. Maybe we need to make sure it's a sellout so Lane sees it's a sellout.
Yeah.
Since he's always complaining about his crowd.
Well, I mean, look, you had 16 in a row with a bad football team. I mean, I can understand that maybe it's not going to be. It might not be. It's, holiday weekend's coming up. I don't know. On the other hand, it's tough to play these 2 rivals at the end of the season. I don't know if I like that or not. What do you think?
Well, I mean, whatever the schedule is, you got to deal with. Again, we're sitting here at 3-6, or we're 3-7 now. 3-7, right? What's our record, buddy?
3-6, I think.
We got 2 games left. We played 12, so we're 3-7.
We can do the math. Okay, I just missed that with my mind this weekend.
Yeah, we're 3-7, and I mean, I don't know if we've ever been 3-7. I know we haven't in my lifetime.
No, you haven't. I think this is the worst record they had since the golden era in the 40s.
Yeah, I don't
have a win in the state. Can you believe that?
I just I don't know what to make of it. I was talking on Steve Russell's show today. You look back at your college career and you're like, okay, how are we going to be remembered?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to comprehend what's happened here the last few years. People can blame the coaching, people can blame the players. It's a combination of both. We just ain't went, I think Steve said on his show today, since Urban Meyer left, what would you think the winning percentage is of our football team?
I've seen it. Steve's going to be on later tonight, but go ahead and give it to him.
It's right at 60%.
Yeah. Well, that's what it used to be before Graves. And look, you want to go above 500 and go to a bowl game. That was before Steve Spurrier's era as a player. So here's the deal. There's a lot. This is like rumor central. Everybody's seen a plane. Everybody knows somebody knows somebody. So everybody's got a story. And there's one story out there that Lane has come to Gainesville and he met with Steve Spurrier.
That's a lot.
That much is not true because I talked to Freddie today. He said, please tell people that is not true. And it's not true. And
Coach didn't go there to meet with him either.
Right.
Here's what's crazy is, people talk about Lane's coming to Gainesville. Lane's going to – he can't do any of that, buddy. I think that is illegal. He's under contract. He's trying to coach a football team.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's legal.
Yeah. Yeah, John Pangbaum was reminding us of the 79 team, 0-10-1. We know about that one, but for sure. So didn't get on the game. All right, so I don't know where to go from here. Everybody's got a story about Lane Kiffin.
Here's the story. Here's the story I like to tell, buddy.
All right.
Regardless of everything you hear,
Yeah.
and again, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
I do believe Lane Kiffin will be our next coach.
You've been saying that. I will say that you've been.
I don't know what should change my mind is, I think people thought if we went in there and beat him, they would definitely say, I need to go to Florida. I didn't expect us to win the game. And so nothing changed my mind about him coming to Florida.
Yeah.
If Lane Kiffin wanted to be the Ole Miss Rebel football coach, when Buddy Martin asked him a question, or whoever like Buddy Martin in a press conference, all he's got to do is say, I will be coaching the Ole Miss Rebels next year.
Right.
He ain't doing it, people. I mean, and people can sit here, well, Jimmy Sexton told him not to do that so they can leverage. Look, what is the difference between $12 and $15 million?
Well, half of it goes to the government or more. So anyway,
well, right. And more goes to it in the state of Mississippi than it does in Florida.
Yeah.
But he's been making $7 to $9 million think about how much, who knows what he was making when he was at Tennessee with the Raiders, USC. I mean, look, this dude's got a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
That does not matter to these guys. These great coaches do not think like the average human being. But you cover Spurrier, you covered Urban. They don't think like normal people, do they?
No, and Urban actually gave money back one year.
I'm not even talking about money. I'm just talking about the way they.
No, they all have crazy. All of them are crazy.
Yes, they think differently, but that's what makes them.
That's who they are.
Special.
Yeah.
If everybody thought and could do what they do, every school in America would be winning football games.
Yeah, they're built differently in that regard. But back to that story that I've had Urban tell me that he told Jeremy Foley, he said, don't give me that money. That's too much. He thought it would be an embarrassment. And I remember Spurrier told me back when he was coaching and getting that $1 million contract from Washington, something about getting a job, paying more money. And he said, it kind of came out, what am I going to do with that money? Give it to Jerry's sisters? I don't need all that money. He's, that's how he thinks.
He ain't ever bought anything in his life.
No, that's the old story about how he opens his wallet and the moss all fly out,
That's right.
He bought me dinner one time. He did buy me a couple of turkey sandwiches when we were doing our book. He'd bring that home. But no, he was not known to throw his money around. That's probably why he's got it right now. So, but God bless him. He was the best thing ever happened around here. Now, Urban had a really good video up today. I know it's a hype video. I know it's whatever, but it was he and Shelley going over the good video of the players he had in 06 and 08. And you realize how close he was to being Nick Saban. If he wins that third year, wins that game against Saban, maybe he's the guy, And he, of course, is up for the Ring of Honor, which you and I both feel like he should get at some point, maybe players first if there's a pecking order. But he's coming here this weekend to take a bow. They're going to salute him and honor him. And I think it's time for Urban to come on back now and come back. I don't mean to coach. I mean to join the team and be a part of this whole thing. And he loves being a Gator. He told me I'll always be a Gator. So I think people have learned to accept him. And this weekend they're going to honor him and honor that 06. And honor him when he first started here 20 years ago. Can you believe that? 20 years ago. What do you think?
20 years ago, huh? Yeah, that's been a long time. I do think Urban needs to be in the Ring of Honor. I just don't know the timing of all that. There's other players I think that need to go in as well, maybe before him. But well-deserved going to the College Football Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's what they're slogan this weekend is Hall of Fame deals. So he's honored there. So we're having our show on Thursday. What should I ask you? Got a question for me?
Who does he think the next coach is going to be?
Well, ain't going to be him.
No. I don't know what you should ask him.
Well, I mean, he still says, I know every coach has their favorites, but he still says that the 08 team might have been the greatest football team of all time. He said that. Said on this video. That's including his Ohio State teams. I'm just selling what he said. Now, every coach has that warm, fuzzy feeling there, but
still. There's always been that debate out of the 3 national titles, which one's the best. I still lean toward that 96 team. I don't know why. I don't remember who all was on the 06 and 08 team, because that you look at that 96
team.
They
had a lot of players they got from held over there. 06 team, and Ron Zook's players, and everybody said, well, he can't win with his own players, so he backs it up and wins with his own players.
But I'm talking about. I feel like I'm just trying to remember. Just think about it right now.
Spikes,
and not that this matters, because it doesn't. But I feel like more of the 96 guys, more guys played in the NFL and lasted longer in the NFL. I could be wrong.
That'd be worth checking out sometime.
Yeah.
You might know that. See, as soon as I tell you about Meldon Law, and he's coming on here in a minute, we're going to get the guy you're on with this morning, Steve Russell. He might have that information. So let me tell you first about Meldon Law. They got a bunch of stuff going on there now. They're giving away 10,000 replica rings. That's part they're paying for. University of Florida's going to do that. Coming up this Friday, I believe it is. He's got also tickets to give away for the basketball team. Basketball team won last night, beating Miami. It was a bit of a struggle, but they're going to be all right. They're going to be good. And Meldon Law, of course, is very proud of the fact that they have the only official law firm associated with the University of Florida. And Jeffrey bleeds orange and blue through and through. He's a great Gator, and he's a great lawyer too, by the way. And he's done some great work for me. So if you need a lawyer, go check him out. He's got 4 locations, 5 now, count the one down there at Fort Lauderdale, and 50 attorneys now to serve you, and he'll do it and do it well. And so check him out. Meldon Law, they don't back down. They won't back down. And you know what? Steve Russell doesn't back down either. I think he's backing up the truck right now. What's up, Steve?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
All right. Tell us tell us the deal. When's he coming? I'm sure you got all the back information sources. Have you been the only one that didn't have it?
Look, I'm going to be in the minority here. I just want this to be over. Let's somebody make a decision someplace so everybody can go about, their business. One thing that's always amused me, and buddy, you and I are old enough to remember, tracking the planes, remember, and all of that stuff.
They're still tracking them.
There
was one of they tracked. You sure that was it. It was a family member coming down. So anyway.
And I'm not even sure that occurred. I'm not saying there wasn't contact made. I'm not sure that somebody was physically here, but be that as it may.
Well, it was nobody to do with the direct family. It was somebody. I read it. Somebody explained it. So like a cousin or whatever.
And think about this. That's what you should do, right? I mean, if you're checking out, what the job is. Not only do you have to be the football coach, but your family has to live someplace. So you're going to check out schools, and if you don't, you're not doing your due diligence, in my opinion. So. The thing that was a bit surprising, though, and I think Shane and I agree on this, I don't see Lane at LSU. I just don't see that.
Because
the fit doesn't seem right there.
It doesn't. And, I talked to Matt Moscona, who's very good. He's all over Louisiana and does the show, ESPN shows there. Very knowledgeable guy. And he says the money's becoming an issue at LSU. And it's really becoming an issue. So I think it's
an issue in a good way or a bad way?
A bad way for them. Everybody thinks LSU, if LSU's going to come in and get right a check for $50 million, or whatever. Fact is, money is an issue there now because of the buyouts. and what the condition that they're in. And Matt's saying that, that's the thing that might preclude it. And we always thought LSU is big, rich schools and all this money. They do, but they spent a bunch of it now. And, they haven't paid off the people they got to pay off. So, there's that. This is a scenario in my mind, guys. I don't know this, but I want you to give me your scenario in your mind. So when Florida realizes they're in a pickle, they got to do something they can't afford to miss. They call their money people together. I know they did do that, by the way. They got in their room and said, okay, let's call Sexton and say, we want to do a deal, name the number, and we all want to play games. Name the number, we'll tell you if we can do it, and we want to move forward and not play. We're not going to come back again. It's a one-time deal, take it or leave it. So he did it. This is just me talking. I don't know if this happened. This sounds right. So he calls back up and says, okay, I figure he's worth $150 million a year, and I want that to be guaranteed for 10 years. And if you can do that, we'll come. But we can't come till after the Egg Bowl. And this is just me talking again. They got their money together. So, okay, guys, we can mess around here and make 3 more mistakes, or we can just go out and write the check and get it done, take the pain. We got lots of money coming in now. We've got to have a winning program. He's the guy. I need $150 million. They said, you got it, go. And they call him up and say, okay, if you can deliver him, he's got 10 years at $15 million a year. Done deal. That's how I see it. That makes sense, guys?
Shane, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know about all how the contracts work and stuff. I just know that I really don't believe. Now this is Jimmy Sexton. He's in it to make money and get the most money he can for his client.
His job.
Yeah.
I do not think Lane cares about the money. Because I said earlier, buddy, he's been making a lot of money coaching for the Tennessee Vols, USC Trojans, the Raiders.
Sure.
He's been making a lot of money at Ole Miss. I've always said I think he leaves Ole Miss due to going to a program that he's always had dreams about being their head coach. And my Ole Miss people, the non-delusional ones, will agree with me that the brands are not the same. Is Ole Miss a better football program than Florida and LSU right now? Absolutely it is, because of Lane Kiffin. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's it.
And I still think he's going to be our head coach. And I can cancel my show if he's not. I can do like an idiot, like most of these people keep, chime in on my program. I don't care. That's my belief that he will be our next coach.
I agree, buddy, with Shane in the sense of I don't think Lane's going to come back and say to Jimmy Sexton, okay, Florida's offering me $15 million. Call LSU, make it $16 million.
Right.
I don't see
Not
that
happen.
at all. He's going to get his money. He's going to get his money. He's going to tell Jimmy Sexton where he feels, that's the best fit for him and where his family's going to be, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to get his money wherever he goes.
Yeah, and it's like when you're doing a deal with trying to get a lawsuit settled, they say, how much would you take? You say, well, I'll take $10 million. And so I'm going to sue him for 15 because I want my money too. You sue him for what you want to, give me my 10. That's basically what we're talking about here, right?
Sure.
He says, okay, look, I don't care about it, but wouldn't mind having at least $10 million a year or whatever, and a little longevity and a good buyout. And so Sex says, okay, let me get my pencil out and start doing it. And he calls up and says, okay, guys, I got the number right here. It's the number, right? So
that's Jimmy Sexton there calling you right there.
That's Jimmy Sexton, yeah. Who that is, by the way, this is Jeffrey Meldon, and he's supposed to be texting me on his line. And he's calling me. Hello there, Jeffrey.
Hi, buddy. I'm having technical support, but I'm here.
Well, okay, we're going to have a hard time doing this with these two guys on the line, but you can't get the link to work?
Let me keep trying.
All right, you try it, and then let me go ahead with these guys, and I'll keep you right here. If you don't call me back, we'll do something on the phone. All right. I got Shane.
Yeah,
I got Shane Matthews, and I got who's this guy here? Steve Russell's his name.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And they said if you don't get it fixed, they're not ever coming on the show again. All right.
Hold on, I'm making progress. It says waiting for permission from you.
No, you don't have to do that. That's not working for you.
I'm here, buddy.
Well, I don't see you. Hold on, look here. All right, he's here, folks. Give him a hand. Look here, he finally made it. He's a wizard. All right, there he is. Yay! All right, stand by 1 second. Here, there they are, right there, guys. Here's two of the most famous guys in talk radio, and you got them on a string. They're just waiting for you to do your bidding, like the rest of us. Jeffrey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, buddy. Went to see the Gator basketball team play last night in Jacksonville, and they really are something else.
They are. All right, can you hang 1 second? We're in the middle of a conversation. We've about got Lane Kiffin hired, okay? We're presenting him with a $150 million deal. And this is the conversation. I'll let these guys finish their thoughts. And that is that when you do a deal, you don't have to say, Lane Kiffin doesn't say, I want all this money. Here's my bottom line. It's like your attorney when I talked to him the other day about what do you need to fix your house? And I'll say so-and-so. I said, fine. He builds in his profits because to pay for what he wants, and then he files a suit, and so he gets his and I get mine. I see that as what happened is they said, okay, it's what's it going to take? Let's give him $15 million a year, and Jimmy will take the Rex. So stand by with that thought for a second. All right, go ahead, Steve. You were in the middle of the thought.
No, I just don't see Lane Kiffin saying to Jimmy Sexton, okay, LSU's giving me $15 million. Let's get Florida to give me $16 million. That's not. I mean, Sexton's going to get him his money, and I'm sure Lane has a dollar figure in mind, but I just don't see him doing his bargaining that way. He's going to go where he wants to go because he's going to get his money wherever he goes.
All right, so Shane is in. He says this guy. He said all along is this guy. He thinks it's a done deal. What do you say, Steve?
I don't know that it's a done deal, but I think it's getting closer. And here's Ole Miss, even if they match the money, right? Let's say that they do. To Shane's point, Lane Kiffin has got to decide, I think, in the long run, where can he win on a more consistent basis? He's done fantastically at Ole Miss. And, Shane being from there, I mean, after John Vaught, there hasn't been a whole lot at Ole Miss, right? So he could leave there right now, and some of that fan base would be mad at him, but they shouldn't be because of what he's done for that program. But if he's looking at a place where recruiting and, all that, Florida's a better job. It just is.
Yeah. All right. Stand by 1 second. All right, Jeffrey, you're going to chance to get a hiring. You going to be able to come up with the money to hire this guy or not?
Of course. Hey, remember when Spurrier came to Florida and what did he get, $1 million? And he was the first coach to get $1 million. And the coach to get $2 million. And then the first coach to get $5 million. They're just the numbers are just escalating, but they've been doing that for a long, long time. I remember when Mickey Mantle was the first player to get $100,000 a year.
Ted Williams.
Yeah.
But anyhow, money's money, and we're gonna, I think the alumni are sick and tired of losing for the last 17 years, and whatever the hell it takes to come up with the money and give us the best chance to get back into national championship contention, they're going to do.
Right, so go ahead,
buddy, if I can real quick.
Sure.
The bad part about this too, if you're a Gator fan, if you don't get Lane Kiffin, then A, who else do you get? And B, unless it's somebody we just don't know about, it is going to be a major disappointment to Gator Nation.
It doesn't matter who, because there's nobody else.
I mean, that's just how this is.
And this is every Meyer. There's nobody else. That ain't going to happen. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. So Jeffrey, and I know Shane's going to go here in a minute, but I want to get this in, and I'll get to Shane. So Jeffrey, you're around a lot of people with money. Money people. You travel in circles. I know all your buddies, you and Freddie Weeby and all you guys hang out at Spurrier's and count your money and all that stuff. But the bottom line is You talk to people, that know money people. What are they saying? What do they think? What are your buddies saying?
I spent an hour with Freddie Weeby about 5:30 this afternoon.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk to him about Lane Kiffin because when it happens, it happens. I'm a lawyer. I've seen enough deals, that
Go sideways.
And I think it's a done deal. I just think until it's signed on the contract, it's not a done deal. Once he signs on it, I feel bad for I can't feel bad for somebody who's making $15 million a year. But can you imagine the stress? He's got to go deal with his players at Ole Miss. He's negotiating contracts or talking about negotiating contracts. The stress in his life must be friggin' incredible.
Me and Shane will have that stress of that money, won't we, Shane?
Well, I don't know. It's a different type of stress. I think the only thing, because I try to put myself in his position in a locker room or a meeting room, the decision, the hardest part is going to be when he tells his team, right? However, his team, some of them players can come play for him wherever he goes.
That's the point.
With no penalty in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
I have a serious problem if it's true what's out there about Ole Miss saying he has to have an ultimatum that if he leaves, he cannot coach the team in the playoffs. That to me is the dumbest thing Ole Miss can do.
Stupid. That is stupid.
Well, it hurts the players and the university.
Yeah. Speaking of not knowing our money, Spurrier took the Duke job without asking how much he was making. You realize that he did not ask how much his salary was. I don't know about the agents, but whoever was doing it for him was probably Uncle Willie, the attorney there in town that was his attorney. So, sorry. So here we are. We're kind of all invested in that regard. In this regard, we've been around this program in some way for a long time. Collectively, in many years, it's probably 100 years. And we care. We do other jobs, but we care. Number one, I know we all feel like this program has gone sideways for some reason. We can go back and blame whoever we want to blame, but it's sideways. This is not how we do it at the University of Florida. How embarrassed are you about that? How much how much does it bother you? And what do you think needs to be done other than hiring Lane Kiffin? Is that the only answer? Let's go with Shane and then Steve and then Jeffrey.
What actually you want me to talk about?
I want you to talk about your emotional investment in this program. You care about it a lot. You're not just.
I said multiple times in the Kentucky game how embarrassed I was.
Yeah, that's right.
But I said it multiple times.
Yes.
I don't know what the answer. I know what the answer is, Lane Kiffin. But I look back and I said it maybe earlier on this program, but I said it on Steve's show today. As a former player, when you come back with your family or you come back with these different celebrations, Coach Spurrier loves celebrating his different teams. But it's kind of like, okay, let's celebrate a 3-7 team, right? I don't know. I don't know how to react to that because it never happened to me. Thank God. But I was on some bad NFL teams. There's no question, but that was a different world.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this hire is the most important hire in my lifetime as being a Gator of any sport. And I hope we get the guy that we all want.
All right. So Steve, go ahead and just considering, look, we're all kind of from different eras. You were a little bit before him and I was before you, and Jeffrey was in between there, but now you've seen it. I go back to Ray Graves when he was hired. Who was he? But you talk about what you've been through. You went through Pell. You went through the whole thing with the 0-10-1. And I know you have a lot of pride and you keep a distance. Your journalism pedigree keeps you as a professor. But I know it has to sting for you too, Steve. And now how much do you want this to be over?
I do. But I'll take my journalistic hat off and put on the hat of the school I graduated from, which is Florida. Okay. Obviously, I want Florida to do well in whatever sport they're in. And I'm not great at math. That's why I'm in journalism. But I went and I calculated Florida's record, buddy, after Urban Meyer until now. The winning percentage is 60%.
Wow.
60%. So when fans say we deserve better, I sometimes have a problem with that, because what fan base doesn't deserve better, right? I mean, Vanderbilt's fan base deserved better, and they finally got better, right? Yeah. But I get it. The other fan bases don't matter. This fan base matters to Gator fans, and they want this fixed because they've seen bad football. And I said this to Shane today when we were doing the show. If we don't have a shoe flip in the LSU game, right, that could have changed the course of a lot of things.
No doubt about it.
Just that one thing changed everything when it looked like Florida was on the cusp of being back and being relevant and really relevant nationally. It changed just like that.
So the curse of the thrown shoe is like the curse of the goat, the bambino, whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, something screwy like that, it went downhill from there, and went downhill pretty quickly. So, you know, that's why, if it isn't Lane Kiffin, whoever the dude is hired has got to fix this, because and Shane's right too, fellas. I mean, he gets to celebrate championships and, you know, all that. What are except for saying I played at Florida and I lettered here, what are you celebrating? That's tough.
All right, that's a fair question, Jeffrey. And I know that era because I did live through it, when going to 500 and getting to a bowl was the best we could hope for under Bob Woodruff. And that would be 60%. So you played 10 games. If you won 6, you hit the mark and you got to play in the bowl. Jeffrey, you came along a little later, but you've been through some of that too. Talk about your pride and your feeling on your university. And although, you know, you didn't go to undergrad here, it's your school. Talk about that.
I love the Gators. I went through the joy of the 90s and the 2000s in all of our sports. And we really raised our standards to a higher level. It was the highest level in all of college sports. There was no place like Gainesville as far as basketball and football, and all the other sports have always been great. And I commend Jeremy Foley for a lot of that. I wonder what Jeremy would say about his hire of Will Muschamp and McElwain. In perspective. I'd like to hear what you guys think about that.
Well, I'll say this real quick, and Shane, I promise not to keep you for a couple of minutes. I know you got to go, but I would say this. I was not a fan of those guys, but I wasn't a fan of Muschamp because of the way he handled it. But he should have been the guy. If you look at all the facts, he was the coach in waiting for Mac Brown in Texas, the hottest guy in the country, Gainesville background, coming here, loved coming back to Gainesville, whatever. And he was the next guy. What happened? I don't know. And then of course we know the M's, and then of course Mullen. What happened? That's a mystery. He should have done it. I don't know the answer on it. I think Mullen was the guy that should have worked out. It didn't. But sometimes Shane and Steve, you think you got the guy when you don't. It's just like Kiffin. What if Kiffin came here and won 6 games? I mean, you know, it could happen, Shane.
It could, but I don't think it will. I think he's one of the top coaches in America. And I firmly believe if he is our next coach and he brings in the players like he does in the portal year in and year out, keeps the nucleus of what we have here, the schedule is totally different than next year. And you don't know how it's going to play out, but I'm going to be one of those guys that I expect us to be relevant immediately and be in the playoff hunt, because I think he's that good of a coach.
And Steve, did it feel that way with Muschamp when he came here?
I like the hire just for what you said. He was the hot guy at the time. He had some background here, and I thought it was a good hire, you know, when it was made. And let me also say this. I'm a history guy. I was a history minor in school. And you study history. I don't care what program it is, in what sport it is. No one stays on top forever. No one does. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 5-5, and now Andy Reid can't coach.
The Roman Empire.
Right? Yeah. So it's not if you go down, it's how long you're down. That's the key. The good programs don't stay down long. They find the right person in a hurry to get them back where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's tougher now. When Coach Spurrier was here, even when Urban was here, fellas, there were teams in the SEC that you played. They were wins. Vandy, win. I mean, that's the Ole Miss, win, right? Mississippi State, win. It's not like that anymore. There's no gimmies anymore. It's a lot tougher now to win because of the money and because of the parity there is in the sport.
Yeah. Let me let Shane go. And can you hang for a second here, Steve? And with Jeffrey, I want to get to his stuff. I want to get Jeffrey's stuff here about his thoughts. And then I want to talk to him about some things he's got coming up that are really cool. I mean, really cool. All right. So, Shane, good night. Who you got on the show tomorrow? Anybody really great? Like an old sports writer?
I got two of you folks on the program tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, you're out. You're not on it.
Yeah, but you're coming on with me at noon. So
that's right.
With Coach, so I'll be
We're
with
all
you anyway.
mixed and mingled in there
That's
somewhere
right.
together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
All right, I want to get to Jeffrey real fast here about this because he's got a big event coming up too I want to talk about. But let me get your thoughts first about what we just talked about. You know, what it feels like, and like Shane and Steve were saying about how did you feel at the time when those guys were hired? Did you see it coming to getting better when Mullen got here? And how disappointed were you when it didn't?
Me?
You.
I was pissed. I thought Mullen was going to program. He had everything we needed, and for some reason, it fell apart. And
why? He was the guy. He was Urban's guy. He was it. But you know, people forget about Steve is that he had a show cause. He had a recruiting violation that we didn't know about for a year, and it didn't come up till later. And then when he asked for support, he didn't get a lot of it. So that happened. What happened, Steve? Just Jeffrey, to him. What happened to him? He should have been the guy.
There was 2 really good, strong years, right? That everybody loved because we went to a, top 6 bowl. And then all of a sudden it fell apart. I'm not smart enough to tell you what happened. All I can tell you is everybody started getting excited again. We were going to great bowls, having a good time. And that's what happened. Sometimes things, maybe it was recruiting, maybe it was coaching. I don't know.
Steve?
Well, when he was hired, fellas, I thought it was the perfect hire. He learned under Urban. He understood Florida. He knew the culture here.
Had offense. Had offense.
And had an offense. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was perfect. Dan's downfall, I think, here, and I like him, always have. He was very resentful. He didn't, when he wanted something, as most coaches, he wanted it now. And he was mad because of the facility issue and all that. Florida was behind, all of that stuff, and that stuck in his craw. And then I think the locker room wasn't the best toward the end either. I don't think there were some guys here that, didn't really do great in terms of the locker room. So I think that did him in too.
Yeah.
And then, when you win, you can do the Darth Vader stuff. You can do all that. But when you don't,
totally out of context.
That looks bad. That's a bad look. So you put all that into the stew.
Yeah.
Kind of what you got.
All right. So Jeffrey, I want you to tell me 2 things. Number one, I want you to tell me you got the floor. You got 60 seconds to sell Lane Kiffin on why he ought to come here. And can you bring him home? Give us your pitch. Come on.
Lane, you want to work for the best damn law firm in the world. Do you want to work with a mediocre law firm, or do you want to work with the greatest show on earth right
and
here?
The best media.
It's the truth. we can produce the greatest show on earth. We did for 3 years from 06 to 08. We were the greatest show on earth. Nobody's ever duplicated it since, and nobody probably ever will. So that's the pitch.
Let me get my pen. I want to sign up right now. All right. So now tell me, Steve, I know you got on see tomorrow, but you got an absolutely unbelievable event coming up we're going to talk about. And I mean, 10,000 duplicate rings. Get out of here. Plus, I went to your Facebook. I can figure, are you giving away 40 tickets or 20 tickets to the event for the game?
20 pair of
20 pair. Oh, 20. Okay. Well, I can do that math.
Yeah. But so I got corrected today. I was telling Freddie Weeby, 10,000, because that's the way he pitched it to me, right?
Yeah.
Today he tells me, well, actually, there's 11,000 because we can put more than 10,000 in the arena.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm standing corrected. We have 11,000 rings waiting for people to show up for the game Friday night in the Merrimack game. And
the powerhouse Merrimack. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Remember the Monitor and the Merrimack, buddy?
Yeah, I do.
You were there.
Yeah, exactly. I was on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, look.
Yeah.
It's a big celebration.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I hope they give the championship rings to the players.
They get their own.
No, but I don't think they've had the ceremony yet to present them to the players.
Steve?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Got the banner, but I mean, this would be the duplicate. I don't think I've ever heard of any school ever giving out 10,000 duplicate rings. Have you, Steve?
No.
Must be some crazy lawyer doing that.
It must be.
So for those of you,
look at that, baby.
Hey, so that's
you get that when you go to the game.
Isn't that cool?
The first 10,000.
The first 10,000, and I mean, it's a big ass ring, buddy. It's like
this big ass ring.
Wow,
look at that.
Yeah.
Flash that baby around. Yeah, I could use one of those myself.
When I go to Publix, I tell you, a lot of people stop me and ask me, "What's the ring?"
They say, "Which way is the meat counter?" You go, "It's over there."
No, buddy. Here, seriously, the reason we decided to do this was we realize now winning a national championship is not easy.
It's hard,
and it's something to celebrate. You got to be great, and you have to be lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that this is something we when you get lightning in the bottle, you better grab it or not come back soon. So
I hope Lane's in a bottle someplace too.
Yeah, right.
You had to weave that in, right, buddy? Somehow Lane had to be weaved into a basketball conversation.
Got to get Lane in there. We're going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
That's what Jeffrey does. He just keeps bringing it up. So we got about 2 minutes here. Basketball team struggled a little bit against Steve. Miami. They're getting their guard play. Clapstar finally started hitting his threes finally. They had a rough spot in there where Miami got to within 4. You could see Miami salivating for the kill, but then they said, "Not so fast, my friend." And they came in. What Thomasoff is unbelievable. What a great player he is, Steve.
He is, but you know who's playing well too is Chinyelu.
He's finally coming back and playing his game.
Another double last night.
Yeah.
The other night, really, really good. And I just cannot see these two guards shooting as poorly as they are the rest of the year. I think that's going to get better. And think about it. Even though they're not shooting well, Florida's still winning. So imagine when they get going a little bit. And you're right, Clapshaw, I think, hit 4 threes. So that helped off the bench. And this stretch of games, which includes Merrimack, I think it's a chance for Todd to tweak a little bit. Does Ingram get more playing time? I want to see him tweak the lineup a little bit when we get ready for SEC play. So, but that was a nice win. And Jay Lucas, he was on my show the other day. Yeah. What a great kid, after playing here for a year. Yeah. He'll do a good job at Miami, I think. And they hung in there pretty good.
Yeah, Condon finally snapped out of after 2 early fouls. He's a guy they got to get going, Jeffrey, as well, Condon.
Well, let me tell you, after we lost to Arizona, I talked to my good friend, Coach Corey McRae, and he coaches up the guards, right? So, I mean, look at this. Look at the challenge, right? He goes from 3 NBA draft picks, to 3 guys that are not NBA draft picks right now. Maybe, anyhow, he told me whatever that game was, November 3rd or whatever. He said, Jeffrey, it's going to take time for this group here to get together because we got new parts, new players coming in here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to be patient. And the good thing about college basketball is what matters is March Madness. And so if we're looking at being, a repeat national champion, I think the Gators have a plan and they understand that it's not going to be the same as last year as far as the guard play, because you've got people coming from different places. Even Herb Klavzar is, he's taking a new role because he's getting more playing time now.
Yeah. So
I believe we're going to be fine. The fire in the team is something that Todd's trying to recapture.
Rekindle, yeah.
Yeah. And the fire in the team has to come with getting to be better basketball players.
There you go.
They got to learn to play together. It's
play more together.
Individual sport.
Yeah. Final thought. I got to go here at the top, but I wanted to say, you said he went from having the 3 great guards and the best backcourt in America. He got the best front court in America now. So I'm telling you, they are good. So, all right, guys, good job, Jeffrey. Good luck on your promotion this week. Catch up to, don't forget, Meldon Law. They won't back down either. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it very much. Good talking to you. And go to Meldon Law and check out all your legal needs. And also, Steve Russell. Yeah.
One last word. Everybody that goes to the game Friday night at Merrimack is going to get a beautiful championship ring. Wow. Tell your friends, I want a packed house. I want to give away 1,000 rings, not 10,000. So
there's 3 people. You should tell my friends. There's 3 right there. Okay, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
All right, folks. I'll wrap you up now. I'm going to tell you about one of my friends who does a terrific job in another field. Hold on a second. Say goodbye to Steve. Hold on, Steve. I'll get you here in a second. Well, anyway.
I can go.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll do that.
Just go ahead and do that if you would. Appreciate it. I can't get. Thank you. I want to tell you about Titan MRI Imaging. Now, it's 3 locations to serve you: 2 in Gainesville with the Park Avenue location, and now in the Millennium Center. 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta, Georgia. Titan MRI and Imaging offers the same great customer service. That is to say, if you work in the afternoon, you can't be there. Well, guess what? They'll make a reservation for you and send somebody in that night and let you do it. Who does that? Nobody does that. That's about as good as it gets in terms of making it customer friendly and customer oriented. They do that well. They accept insurance. You can go through their convenient self-pay options as well, if that works for you. Again, customer service. Probably the one thing that I harp on the most is because as a person who's had several MRIs and may have to have more in the future, you never know. I want to say that those tubes get a little too tight for me. And they make it possible for you to go to one of the larger cages and get in that thing and not feel claustrophobic. They offer MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, ultrasounds. Check them out. Coming to Ocala soon, better serve Marion County. Titan MRI, it's your choice. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Shane and for Steve and for Jeffrey. And we didn't get a chance to talk to Franz Beard. Last time I talked to him, he was up chucking everywhere. So wish him the best. His book's coming out this week, and it's going to be a good one. More on that tomorrow night. So don't forget Lauren Meadows and the Lowdown tomorrow night. So have a good one. Good night, folks.